Let's start with Unrecord, a game that flips the script on the FPS genre and gives you something truly unique, the perspective of a body camera. It's raw, immersive, and honestly, unlike anything you've ever played before. What sets Unrecord apart right away is how it feels. You're not a bulletproof action hero here. You're a professional, and that changes everything. The game leans heavily into realism, so you'll be clearing rooms, piecing together clues, and making split-second decisions that could shift the entire scenario. It's intense, but in the best way possible. Every corner could hide a potential threat, and every movement matters. Do you take the risk of moving in fast, or do you hang back and assess the situation? It's that constant balancing act that keeps you engaged. One thing you'll notice is how the game forces you to slow down and think. This isn't about spraying bullets and hoping for the best. It's about precision. You'll find yourself analyzing the environment, listening for subtle cues, and trying to outsmart whoever or whatever you're up against. It's the kind of gameplay that rewards patience and sharp instincts. What's really cool about Unrecord is the attention to detail. It's not just about the action. It's about the tension. From the way you approach a scene to how you decide to engage, everything feels deliberate. You're not just playing a game, you're stepping into a situation, and that immersion is what makes it so unique. The realism, the intensity. It's like stepping into a whole new world. Next we have Cuphead. It's a game that doesn't hold your hand. Instead, it hands you a pair of gloves and says, "All right, let's see what you've got." So what's the deal with Cuphead? Well, it's all about boss battles. Big, bold, over-the-top showdowns that'll push your skills to the limit. Each encounter is completely unique, filled with crazy attacks, patterns you have to learn, and that sweet moment of triumph when you finally get it right. And trust me, those victories feel earned. This game doesn't hand them out like candy. The gameplay is fast, precise, and oh so satisfying. You'll be dodging, jumping, and shooting your way through a series of increasingly difficult fights, all while trying to keep track of what's happening on screen. And there's a lot happening on screen. But that's part of the fun. It's all about staying focused, learning the patterns, and figuring out how to outsmart each boss. One thing that really stands out is the variety. You're not just fighting the same type of boss over and over again. Each one feels like its own mini-event, with unique designs and attacks that keep you on your toes. One minute, you're dodging projectiles in a traditional platforming setup, and the next, you're flying through the air in a shoot-'em-up. It's this constant change of pace that keeps the game so engaging. And let's not forget about the co-op mode. Playing with a friend adds a whole new dynamic to the chaos, as you both work together to take down these larger-than-life foes. It's teamwork at its most frantic and fun. Next we have Ghostbusters, Spirits Unleashed. It's a team-based multiplayer experience where you can either join the Ghostbusters squad or, plot twist, become the ghost. Yep, you get to pick a side. Playing as a Ghostbuster means working with your team to track down and capture ghosts before they cause too much havoc. You'll be scanning, zapping, and deploying traps in this fast-paced hunt. It's all about coordination and strategy, but don't worry. It's packed with that fun, chaotic energy you'd expect from ghostbusting. As the ghost, your goal is to haunt the location, scare people, and stay one step ahead of the Ghostbusters. You'll be sneaking around, possessing objects, and creating as much chaos as possible while avoiding capture. It's such a fun twist on the usual formula, and it keeps the gameplay fresh, no matter which side you're on. One of the coolest parts is how the game makes every match feel like its own little episode of ghost-busting greatness. The locations are filled with interactive elements, giving you plenty of opportunities to strategize and outsmart your opponents. Whether you're chasing down a slippery spirit or evading the Ghostbusters, every match is packed with tense, hilarious moments that you won't forget. And let's not forget the customization. You can tweak your gear, upgrade your abilities, and make your Ghostbuster or Ghost truly your own. It's a great way to keep the game feeling personal and let you experiment with different playstyles. As for discounts, they're definitely a thing. Watch out for sales during holidays or gaming events. You'll find it at a price that feels like catching a ghost in a trap. Next we have Lockdown Protocol. This game is all about trust, strategy, and a bit of paranoia. Because you never really know who's on your side. It's a social deduction game that's perfect for playing with friends, but also works well if you want to test your ability to figure out who's secretly working against you. You've got a group of people all trying to accomplish tasks in a high-stakes environment, but among you, there are some sneaky saboteurs. You're working together to finish your objectives, but there's always that feeling that someone might be messing things up behind the scenes. The game lets you play with anywhere between 3 to 8 players, and it's all about trying to outsmart the other team. Whether you're part of the crew or one of the dissidents, the crew's job is simple: keep things running and finish tasks. But the dissidents, they're there to ruin everything, without anyone noticing that they're the ones behind all the chaos. The catch is that they've got to blend in and act like they're on the same team, so the pressure's on. One of the coolest parts of Lockdown Protocol is the communication. This game leans hard into social interaction. You're constantly talking to the people around you, trying to convince them you're not the saboteur. Or maybe you are trying to deceive someone else. The game uses proximity chat, so depending on where you are in the game world, you can hear others' conversations and plan your next move. It really cranks up the tension, and you'll be second-guessing everyone's intentions. Next we have LEGO Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga, a game that takes everything we love about Star Wars, adds that signature LEGO charm, and cranks it up to light speed. This isn't just your typical LEGO smash and collect formula, though yes, there's still a ton of smashing and collecting, and let's be honest, it's super satisfying. What's cool here is the variety. One moment, you're solving puzzles and figuring out clever ways to progress, and the next, you're dogfighting in space or wielding a lightsaber in a duel. It's this constant mix of gameplay that keeps things exciting. The character roster is absolutely massive. You want to play as Luke, Leia, or Darth Vader, obviously. But how about a background droid you barely remember from one scene? Yep, they're here too. The sheer amount of characters and the ways you can use them makes exploring the galaxy so much fun. And speaking of the galaxy, the open world exploration is such a treat. Each planet feels like its own little LEGO playground, packed with secrets, side quests, and things to build or destroy. Whether you're zipping around Tatooine, wandering the forests of Endor, or navigating the icy landscapes of Hoth, there's always something to discover. And the thing is, you don't just play through the main events. There's a ton of side stuff that makes it feel like you're exploring the galaxy on your terms, spending your hard-earned cash on a game that lets you hop from Tatooine to Endor, while breaking things into LEGO bricks along the way. Totally worth it. Next we have Trek to Yomi, a game that takes you on a samurai journey like no other. You're stepping into the sandals of a samurai, navigating a world filled with challenges, duels, and a deep sense of purpose. It's not just about the combat, though that's a huge part of it. It's also about exploration and how you immerse yourself in this journey. The game balances action with a sense of calm, giving you moments to breathe before diving into another intense encounter. The combat is sharp, literally and figuratively. Every swing of your sword is precise, and the game really rewards you for mastering the art of timing and positioning. It's not about mashing buttons or rushing in. It's about reading your opponent, anticipating their moves, and delivering that perfect counterstrike. When you land a clean hit, it feels incredible, like you've truly earned it. But it's not just about fighting. Trek to Yomi has these moments where you'll find yourself taking in the world around you, noticing the smaller details, and appreciating the balance between the chaos of battle and the tranquility of the journey. Whether you're navigating through a quiet village or facing off against a new foe, there's always something to keep you on your toes. It's not just about flashy moves or endless enemies. It's about discipline, focus, and respecting the craft of the warrior. Everything you do, from exploring to fighting, feels intentional and grounded in that philosophy. Artistic is the best way to describe Trek to Yomi. This game is a visual masterpiece. Next we have House Flipper 2, a game that's basically a dream come true for anyone who's ever looked at a fixer-upper and thought, yeah, I could turn that into a masterpiece. First off, it's all about freedom. You're not just renovating, you're completely in control. You'll knock down walls, replace floors, and even decide if that avocado green kitchen is a bold statement or a terrible idea. It's as much a game about design as it is about construction, and honestly, that's where the fun comes in. And let's not forget the tools of the trade. You're equipped with everything you need to turn chaos into calm. Sledgehammers for demolition, paint rollers for a fresh coat of personality, and even the all-important vacuum to tackle those post-Reno messes. It's oddly satisfying to see a dirty, broken-down space slowly become livable, beautiful, and, well, yours. But here's the real kicker: the variety. Each house you flip comes with its own quirks, challenges, and surprises. Maybe one place has ancient plumbing that's barely holding on, while another has a leaky roof that's seen better days. It's like a puzzle, but instead of solving it, you're rebuilding it from the ground up. If you love the idea of fixing up virtual homes without the back pain and real-life bills, this game is your jam. It's got the satisfying before and after magic that'll have you hooked. Spend your money on this? Absolutely. You're not just buying a game, you're buying hours of oddly therapeutic home improvement bliss. Sales discounts? Oh, they happen. Big seasonal sales or surprise mid-year events are where you'll see it drop. Next we have The Expanse, a Telltale series. This one is for anyone who's into deep space, tough decisions, and a little bit of mystery. The game is set in the world of The Expanse, and if you're already a fan of the series, you're in for a real treat. You get to step into the boots of Kamina Drummer, who's an awesome character from the show, and navigate your way through the intense, high-stakes life aboard a scavenger ship in the asteroid belt. The gameplay is all about making decisions that impact not just the story, but the relationships between you and your crew. And trust me, you'll want to pay attention to every conversation and action, because the choices are big and have consequences. This game is a lot like the other Telltale titles you might know. Lots of dialogue, quick decisions, and that deep emotional storytelling. But The Expanse brings in some cool twists. Zero-gravity environments are a huge part of the experience, so you're not just walking around like you would in any other game. You're floating, using mag boots, and having to adjust to movement that feels more like you're actually in space, which is honestly a great touch. It's not just about talking to characters and choosing what to say. It's about navigating these intense, disorienting situations where every action feels a little more dangerous and impactful. One of the best parts of the game is how your choices shape everything. It's not just about picking what you think sounds good in the moment. You'll be making decisions that seriously affect how things play out for the crew. Next we have Aliens: Dark Descent, a game that takes the intense, nerve-wracking universe of Aliens and blends it with some seriously engaging tactical gameplay. You're commanding a squad of Marines, and your mission is to survive. Sound simple? It's anything but. This is a tactical squad-based game where every decision feels like it could mean life or death. The best part? It's not just about running and gunning, although you'll definitely get your fair share of intense combat. It's about planning, strategy, and making the best of a terrifyingly unpredictable situation. Each mission has you exploring these atmospheric, tightly designed environments, where danger is literally around every corner. You're not just fighting xenomorphs either. There are other threats waiting to throw your plans into chaos, and it's up to you to adapt. Do you press on and risk everything for a key objective, or do you retreat to fight another day? Every choice feels weighty, and that tension keeps you hooked. What's super cool is how the game balances real-time action with tactical pause moments. When things get hairy, and they will, you can slow down the action to issue orders to your squad. As you play, your squad gains experience, new abilities, and better gear, which gives you more tools to deal with the escalating challenges. But there's also a sense of fragility. These are humans, not superheroes. Losing a Marine is a big deal, and it makes every choice feel important. Alien fans, rejoice. Dark Descent is everything you'd want from a game in this universe. Next we have Gotham Knights. It's all about stepping into the boots of Gotham's protectors in a city that feels alive with danger and opportunity. The game puts you in the shoes of 4 iconic characters, Nightwing, Batgirl, Robin, and Red Hood, all with their own distinct styles, abilities, and combat approaches. The combat system in this game is where the fun kicks in. Each character plays completely differently, and the combat is fluid, punchy, and satisfying. Nightwing brings acrobatic finesse, Batgirl offers technical precision, Robin brings stealth and gadgets, and Red Hood has brute force and ranged expertise. Swapping between them feels like jumping into a whole new playstyle, which keeps things fresh, no matter how long you play. The upgrade system adds another layer, letting you tweak and enhance your character to suit your preferences. Exploration is a big part of the game, and Gotham itself is a sprawling playground. The city isn't just a backdrop, it's a living, breathing space filled with activities, side missions, and hidden challenges. Gliding across rooftops or speeding through streets on a sleek Batcycle never gets old. It's not just about fighting crime. It's about immersing yourself in Gotham's gritty world and uncovering its secrets. It's a commitment to justice, action, and incredible storytelling. When it goes on sale, the discounts are just enough to feel like you've outsmarted the system. You can often find deals on major online gaming platforms or during seasonal events. Next we have Backrooms Escape Together. The game is all about survival in an endless maze of interconnected liminal spaces. It's not just about running around aimlessly trying to escape. You need to rely on sharp thinking, observation, and cooperation to make it out. Each area feels alive in its own haunting way, with layouts that twist, loop, and stretch into bizarre infinity. There's a constant sense that something is watching, something you can't quite place, and that tension keeps you on edge throughout. This isn't the kind of multiplayer game where you and your friends just goof off and laugh. It demands focus and communication because the stakes feel high every second you're playing. The moment someone ventures too far or makes a bad call, it snowballs into an unforgettable experience. The developers really nailed the group dynamic. Every session becomes a unique blend of frantic scrambling, clever problem-solving, and sheer nerve. The puzzles are a standout feature here. They're not thrown in as busy work. Each one feels like a piece of the bigger, twisted puzzle that is the Backrooms. They push players to think critically and explore every nook and cranny of this unsettling environment. Escape Together feels like stepping into a shared nightmare, and it's worth every penny if you're into tense, collaborative gaming experiences. Sales pop up fairly often, and when they do, the discounts can feel like a gift from the void. Next we have Need for Speed Unbound, a high-octane ride that throws you right into the heart of street racing with an unmistakable attitude. The focus is all about the thrill of the chase, the rush of the win, and the risk you're willing to take to make a name for yourself in a city that never stops moving. The gameplay is a perfect mix of adrenaline-pumping races, high-stakes police chases, and strategic planning. It's not just about crossing the finish line first, it's about how you get there. Do you take the riskier shortcuts, or do you play it safe and stick to the main road? Every race feels like a gamble, and the rewards always feel worth it. Winning is great, but outsmarting cops in a high-speed pursuit? That's a different kind of rush. Customization is where Unbound really shines. This game gives you the tools to create a car that's truly yours. It's not just about slapping on a coat of paint and calling it a day. You can tweak, upgrade, and style your ride to match your vibe. Whether you're going for sleek and stealthy or loud and flashy, the options feel endless, and every adjustment makes your car feel like an extension of your personality. The races are intense and unpredictable, with a variety of events that keep things fresh. There's a sense of progression that feels earned as you climb the ranks, build your rep, and unlock better rides. The competition is fierce, but that's part of the fun. The game is a love letter to speed, style, and rebellion. Next we have The Lord of the Rings Gollum. The game takes you on a journey through Middle-earth like no other. The gameplay revolves around stealth and strategy. Gollum isn't a fighter, so the game leans heavily on outsmarting your foes. Whether it's sneaking past patrolling guards or using the environment to create distractions, every move feels deliberate and tense. The challenge lies in reading the situation, plotting your approach, and knowing when to act, or when to retreat into the shadows. The climbing mechanics are a standout feature, emphasizing Gollum's agility and resourcefulness. Scaling cliffs, jumping between precarious ledges, and finding hidden paths make traversal feel engaging. The verticality of the environments invites exploration, rewarding you with a sense of accomplishment when you uncover a clever route or navigate a particularly tricky section. The moral choice system adds a layer of complexity that feels perfectly tailored to Gollum. His internal conflict is more than a story element. It's woven into the gameplay itself. As you progress, decisions will reflect the tug-of-war between his two sides. It's not just about good or evil, it's about survival versus compassion, selfishness versus cooperation. Every choice feels weighty because it's tied directly to who Gollum is as a character. Gollum offers a unique perspective on Middle-earth, and its quirks make it worth the investment. It occasionally goes on sale, and when it does, the discounts can be substantial enough to make you feel like you found your own precious. Next we have Chained Together, a co-op platformer that redefines teamwork. Imagine starting in the depths of hell, literally chained to your friends, with one goal: climb to freedom. The game offers multiple modes to suit different playstyles. In beginner mode, a handy option in the pause menu lets you teleport back to the highest point reached before a significant fall, easing newcomers into the mechanics. Normal mode removes this safety net, requiring players to start over after a fall, intensifying the challenge. For those seeking an adrenaline rush, lava mode adds a rising lava threat, pushing teams to climb quickly or face engulfment, whether you're playing solo or with up to 4 players in local multiplayer. Chained Together adapts seamlessly. The chain isn't just a visual element, it's a dynamic part of the gameplay that can both hinder and help, depending on your team's coordination. The game also features leaderboards, allowing you to track your escape speeds and compare completion times across different player configurations, adding a competitive edge to your cooperative efforts. It's a chaotic adventure where teamwork is as much a challenge as the puzzles themselves. There's no doubt this one is worth your time and your wallet. Sales aren't rare, and when they roll around, the discount is usually generous enough to make you think twice about waiting. Even without a deal, this game is a solid investment. It's all about working together, and sometimes failing hilariously, which makes every dollar feel well spent. Dive into it during platform sales or special events for a real bargain. Next, we have Hi-Fi Rush. It's the kind of game that feels like an electric jolt of energy from start to finish. It's all about rhythm, creativity, and a relentless sense of fun. Imagine a world where everything, movement, combat, and even the environment syncs up to a beat. That's the magic of this game. It's not just about playing. It's about feeling like you're part of a live performance that you control. The combat is an absolute standout. Every punch, kick, and combo you unleash flows perfectly with the rhythm, making fights feel like a dance you're conducting. The game doesn't just let you attack enemies. It turns every battle into a chance to express yourself. Timing is key, and when you hit that perfect rhythm, it feels like you're in complete harmony with the game. You're not just fighting, you're performing, and it's exhilarating. The gameplay keeps things fresh by throwing new challenges your way. It's not just about mastering the rhythm in combat. It's about learning how to adapt that rhythm to different situations. Whether you're dealing with tricky enemies, environmental hazards, or clever puzzles, the game always keeps you on your toes. It's the kind of experience that pushes you to keep improving, but it never feels frustrating. Every success feels earned, and every failure just makes you want to dive back in for another try. Hi-Fi Rush is pure, unfiltered fun, wrapped in a rhythm-based action package. Every dollar spent on this game feels like a note in a perfect melody. Sales come around often enough, and the discounts are music to your ears. Next, we have Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontiers takes everything you think you know about Sonic and spins it into something bold and exciting. Sonic's iconic speed becomes more than a mechanic. It's your gateway to discovery, your tool for tackling challenges, and your means of truly connecting with the game's world. The game introduces these expansive islands, each packed with platforms, puzzles, and opportunities to go fast in ways that feel fresh. You're not just running in a straight line anymore. You're leaping across floating rails, chaining together moves, and launching yourself through massive loop-de-loops that make every corner of the world feel alive. The zones are filled with challenges that reward creativity as much as speed, turning Sonic's signature moves into tools for exploration. The combat system adds a layer of depth to the gameplay that's unexpected in the best way. Sonic's moveset now includes a variety of techniques that let you mix things up when facing enemies, from fast-paced strikes to clever maneuvers that take advantage of your environment. The battles feel dynamic and engaging. The puzzles scattered across the islands add a surprising touch of calm to the otherwise high-energy experience. They're cleverly designed to make you pause, think, and interact with the environment in ways you might not expect. They break up the action perfectly, giving you moments to breathe before diving back into the chaos. This open-world adventure often sees discounts during seasonal sales, and when they hit, it feels like a ring-collecting bonus level. Shopping around can sometimes uncover great deals. Next, we have Palworld. The game feels like a wild fusion of creativity, survival, and pure chaotic fun. It's a game that takes familiar ideas and flips them on their head, crafting a unique experience where you're building, battling, and bonding with these quirky creatures called pals. It's not just about collecting them, it's about finding clever ways to integrate them into every aspect of your journey. The core of the game revolves around teaming up with pals to survive and thrive in a sprawling open world. Each pal brings something unique to the table. whether it's combat skills, crafting abilities, or the sheer joy of watching them help with everyday tasks. They're not just companions, they're essential to how you tackle the challenges around you. From farming to fort building to full-blown firefights, pals aren't just along for the ride, they're active participants in everything you do. Combat is where the game gets delightfully chaotic. Pals are more than just support, they're part of the action. Whether you're wielding weapons alongside them or unleashing their special abilities, battles feel dynamic and unpredictable. The way the game combines ranged and melee mechanics with creature-based abilities adds a fresh twist to every encounter. Enemies don't feel like simple obstacles. They're opportunities to strategize and experiment with your team of pals. Palworld is a delightful mix of whimsy and survival, and it's worth every penny for the unique experience it offers. Sales come by often enough to let you snag it for less, with discounts that make it feel like you've captured a rare creature. Next, we have Armored Core 6. It's all about piloting a massive, customizable mech and unleashing mayhem in a way that feels precise, intense, and deeply satisfying. The thrill comes from balancing raw firepower, nimble movement, and strategic thinking, creating an experience that's as rewarding as it is exhilarating. Customization is the heart of this game. Every part of your mech can be tweaked, swapped, or optimized to match your playstyle. Whether you're loading up with heavy weaponry for maximum destruction or fine-tuning for agility and quick strikes, the possibilities feel endless. It's not just about choosing gear, it's about crafting a machine that feels uniquely yours, one bolt and a circuit at a time. Combat is a dance of destruction. You're not just piloting a mech, you're commanding a war machine that can jump, dodge, and unleash devastating attacks in a fluid, kinetic way. The controls feel tight and responsive, making every encounter feel like a test of skill and strategy. Enemies are varied and challenging, requiring you to think on your feet and adapt quickly. It's a perfect blend of chaos and precision, where victory feels earned and every skirmish keeps you engaged. The arenas are designed to push your abilities to the limit. From tight spaces that demand precision to open battlegrounds that test your maneuverability, each environment feels like it's made to challenge your mech-building skills and combat instincts. Armored Core 6 is a masterpiece of mech combat. Next we have The Case of Frankstone. It's like stepping into the shoes of a detective with an edge, but not in the usual crime-solving way. This game leans into its gritty, cerebral nature with gameplay that constantly challenges you to think a step ahead. At its core, this is a game of discovery and deduction. You're not handed answers on a silver platter, and that's what makes every moment so engaging. Exploring the game's environment feels purposeful, with every item, every note, and every detail having the potential to be a critical part of the bigger picture. It's the kind of experience where you can feel the layers of the mystery unfolding, one small detail at a time. Interrogation and dialogue are key components of the gameplay. Conversations aren't just filler, they're puzzles of their own. Listening carefully and picking the right responses can uncover hidden truths or nudge someone into revealing what they're trying to hide. It's not just about what's being said. It's about reading between the lines, understanding motives, and knowing when to push and when to pull back. The game is methodical in its pacing, giving you time to think, analyze, and explore without rushing. Every action feels deliberate. Whether you're examining a crime scene or cross-referencing information in your notes, the satisfaction of putting together clues and having that aha moment feels earned. It's not about being spoon-fed solutions. It's about working for them,